Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Anthony with Edge on Regen Medicine. I am excited today that we have Brian Kean. He is right now the CEO of the management team of Advantage, regenerativeCare.com. And how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Appreciate Mark. Appreciate having me here today. Thank you.
You know, it's a pleasure. I love talking with people that are into stem cells, neuropathy, exosomes, anything that you can think of that basically focus on helping the body. And so everyone, before we start, I just want to say sharing is caring. Please share the video. You never know whom you're going to help out, especially with a video that's going to be talking about something that's life-changing to people, that's helping people get their life back. And I'm excited to talk with Brian today. And the cool thing is Brian and I, we met, I believe we met like 7 or 8 months ago. And when we met, I was really intrigued with a lot of the regenerative care that he was helped working with other people to get them better. And as you know, he's controls an entire management team. I believe you guys have 4 offices currently right now.
Correct. Yep, sure do.
So they're pretty busy and growing. And so I always ask the big question, especially with stem cells, and I know it's between 5 to 7 years old. How did you even get into stem cells? What was the process of that?
Well, I became passionate about regenerative medicine way back when. I managed a clinic in Greenville, North Carolina, where we focus on. At that time, was really regenerative medicine more integrated. We had an MD, we did rehab, we did all kinds of cool stuff. I had played 2 college sports. I had tore up my knee in high school football, and tore it up again in college wrestling. And I got to the point I couldn't run anymore. And they always wanted to do surgery or something like that. I didn't want to do any kind of more surgeries. And at that time we were doing amniotic regenerative medicine in our office. This is like 7 years ago in Greenville. And I said, well, what the heck, let's try it. So I did, and within 2 months, I was actually back to running again. And I can still run like now, today. Like, it doesn't bother me at all, 7 years later. So we found over time, in our clinic, we have in Greenville about $400,000 of rehabilitative equipment in there. But as we started to introduce these new regenerative properties, especially in the last about 18 months, we started going to Wharton's jelly and different products that were actually able to eliminate all these other rehab, all these high dollar pieces of equipment. People need to come in and just get one injection and possibly a knee brace or maybe some possible home device, but then they were done. They were actually healing, getting back to living life on their own terms again without having to do any long rehab periods. And patients like that.
Wow. Okay. And how long have you been working your practice? I mean, not your practice, but your team, that you've been working with your team with regenerative medicine altogether, would you say?
Well, like I said, we started way back 7 years ago, and it's just grown since that. We've added clinics in now New Bern, North Carolina. We have one in Matthews, North Carolina, and also in Wilmington, North Carolina. So
you guys do a lot of seminars in your current area right now, or is it just a surrounding radius? About how many seminars are you guys?
We do a lot of workshops on the community. We actually focus we go as far as outside of Raleigh to the whole East Coast. And people typically right now for regenerative medicine, they usually only come one time. So the great thing is people can come, as we've had people fly in, we've had people drive 4, 5, 6 hours, come in knowing that they only need to come one time, typically with regenerative medicine, and they're good.
So basically, when you say one time, does that mean they like, what would the process be if I was a patient and I might have a knee problem, example?
Well,
when you say one time, does that mean I just see you one time visit and that's it? Or how is that?
good question. Good question. There's a couple of different tracks patients can go on. And so if it's a person's interested purely in Wharton's jelly, which comes from umbilical cord, that protects the arteries and veins. That's the most nutrient-rich source of mesenchymal stem cells, which actually improves blood supply, nerve supply, and helps to create lubrication, cushioning, and soft tissue. Okay, and so if they come from a workshop, that person typically only needs one injection. Okay, and if they were doing a Wharton jelly product. Now we do have other products that we're introducing, which I think we're going to talk about in the comments, or actually are covered by insurance. They don't have as much regenerative properties like a Wharton jelly does, but we have some properties like amniotic injections. We do PRP injections. We also have bone marrow injections, and we have other hyaluronic acid products that actually help to lubricate joints as well. So our goal really is to get people in, see if they're a candidate. And we don't accept every patient that comes to the door. I just didn't accept the patient earlier today because he was literally bone on bone. There's nothing left. But in saying that, I can tell you 90% of people come in and say they're bone on bone. We take x-rays and they're not bone on bone. There's plenty of space, but they were told they're bone on bone, right? So that's usually a false statement until we actually look at it and know. But that person was one of the probably 7 to 10% we don't accept as a patient. That's one of the reasons we have such a high success rate is we only accept patients we know we can help. So when it comes to joints, we look at the joints, make sure the joints got some ability to grow. Once we know the joint has the ability to heal, then we decide what product the person needs. And a lot of times now, we'll offer someone an insurance-based product. If it's a knee, we'll do some sort of hyaluronic acid injection, and that actually helps to lubricate, like getting oil changing the car helps to create lubrication of the joints so they glide better. And many times that help the knee to help to walk up down steps better, maybe squat better, bend better, maybe get it from a kneeling position, play with the grandkids kind of thing. And we'll track them usually about 5 weeks of injections. And then we give a little gap of 30 days. And then we have them come back in for re-exam. If that's working, great. And if they haven't hit their maximum medical improvement, then we have an opportunity to actually do an amniotic injection, which it does have some regenerative properties in it. It's very powerful. That's also covered by insurance. And then we track them again. And we give them usually about 30 to 45 to 60 days, have them come back in and update and make sure they're doing well. If they're doing well, they're happy because they're done. If they're still having the maximum medical improvement where they want to be, then at that point we can go into, hey, we have Wharton's jelly, we have bone marrow, and here's the differences. Bone marrow is from your own bone, right? Right. So we all have stem cells in our bodies. Problem is, as we age, we have limited amounts, right? So when you're born,
5-year-old.
Yeah, that's why hair turns gray and your skin sags and all that kind of stuff, right? But when you're born, 1 in every 10,000 cells in our body is actually a mesenchymal stem cell, which again is the only kind of cell that can differentiate, which means change into a blood supply, a nerve supply, or create that lubrication or cushioning in the joint. But as you age, most of our patients we see are 65 or older. By the time you hit that age, 1 in every 2 million cells in your body now is a mesenchymal stem cell. So it's mesenchymal stem cells that actually help us to heal, okay? So as you decrease the number of mesenchymal stem cells, we don't heal as fast. That's why, again, where our hair is not functioning, or our skin's not functioning like we used to, the joints sweep up and down, it's slow. Right. So with Wharton's jelly, we can actually give a day 1 stem cell and heal the body. Okay. So with bone marrow, let me go back to real quick before I got to lose my train of thought. Because the bone marrow, so we take bone marrow out of your bone. Most people are 65 or older. Remember, by that age, 1 in every 2 million cells in your body now is a mesenchymal stem cell. So we can still use the person's bone marrow. We do it, and people get great results. But it doesn't have as much bang for the buck and much power, right? Or we can use a day 1 stem cell from Wharton's jelly for mothers that donate their live births, C-section births. They can donate their placentas and umbilical cords. They get sent to a lab, FDA-approved lab, which meets and exceeds the FDA rules and regulations. Right. They then treat it again, test it, make sure it's all good, and then they send it to us in 1cc vials. We cryofreeze it. So you can give a day 1 stem cell with a Wharton's jelly.
Oh,
So
okay.
we give people a choice. And sometimes people are better canned for bone marrow. Sometimes people are better choice for Morton's jelly. It all depends on each condition, each case, and everyone's different.
Okay, so you answered my question.
Sorry, it was long-winded.
You're way ahead. So would I know that stem cells regenerate, they heal the body, but do you think in the future that could also be used for like plastic surgery in the face? Have you heard of anything like that? I'm just wondering.
Well, there's already people offering those kind of procedures. We don't offer that currently in our clinics. Um, but yeah, PRP is used right now for like vampire facials and things like that. We have some training in that. We haven't released that yet in our clinics. We will probably next year or the end of this year, we'll be releasing that. But
Okay.
we're not ready to release that just yet. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just find that very interesting because I know that a lot of people do the Botox, and it's like if I could have like a 3-year-old cell in my face or my
Yeah.
body, I mean, give it to me because you would think that it would regenerate the same thing. I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, regenerative medicine has a great, wherever you put it, it's going to find, when you put regenerative medicine, we do all arthritis and nerves, okay? We don't really do much face stuff or much cosmetic work. We
Right.
really focus on what we know the research is clear on. So with bone or a joint, we know when that healing matrix goes in there, it's going to go in and those cells duplicate over time. So we know from the research that it takes about 3 to 9 months for those cells to duplicate regularly. I
Okay.
always like to use the example, when the sperm eats the egg, those are actually stem cells. Those differentiate, change, multiply over 9 months, and the baby's born, right? Well, that's what made the baby. That's actually what heals the baby too. That's what heals us, right? So that's where we're made from. That's also what heals us. But as we age, since we have low numbers, we don't heal properly. So you put new cells in, they duplicate and grow in about 3 to 9 month period. And some research says, hey, as long as 2 to 3 years and they die off. But so you got the healing time,
Okay.
right?
That makes sense. Wow. It's interesting. I mean, I remember what really got me into stem cells and not just referring other people. I mean, I don't need it. Hopefully I won't need it in the future. But what really got me thinking is when I saw that Mel Gibson video of his father,
Sure.
how
Yeah.
his dad was like basically was like on his deathbed. And,
Right.
during that time, it wasn't in the States where you could use it. And he knew a doctor, and next, his dad's like over 100 now.
Hey, he went outside that Dr. Neil Rourke out in Panama. Yeah.
Yeah,
And spent
yeah,
a lot of money.
a
But
little
the great
bit.
thing is now you can actually do the same kind of products right here in the United States. You don't have to see Dr. Borden. But now there's some things that Dr. Borden can do over there in Panama you can't do here in the States that is illegal. And that's what
Oh,
something to do with
alrighty then, yeah.
him.
Yeah, I'm sure Mel Gibson's he's probably
He
using
can
them all.
afford it. He can afford it, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, I'll do my own stunts. But anyways, so also another question that I hear a lot about would you say 80% of the people that you see are normally knee pain, or 30% or 50% for stem cells?
Man, ratios. Probably knees, neuropathy are two things we see most commonly. We do see a lot of back. Most common things to take care of is knee neuropathy, probably then a hip, shoulder, and back.
Okay.
And so that's we created a whole new program about the knees. It's insurance based as well, which is awesome. And I think we'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, there's any joint we can treat.
Okay.
Anything that, remember, with regenerative medicine, it improves blood supply, improves nerve supply. That's a neuropathy problem, right? Neuropathy is a decreased blood supply, decreased nerve supply. People take gabapentin, take Lyrica, take Neurontin. Those are actually, if you look at the research, they're anti-seizure medications. They have nothing to do with blood supply, nerve supply, right? And all it does is blocks a fiber to the brain so they don't feel it, but they didn't get any better.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, they wait and see till they were facing the ulcers or amputation or something crazy like that. So I know we got a little bit off topic there, but neuropathy is something that, since the regenerative medicine helps that improve blood supply, nerve supply, it works phenomenal for. Otherwise, it's just joints, because joints, we know, the research is clear, it helps to lubricate, create cushioning, support in a joint.
Okay. Well, I just, the biggest thing is always insurance. So I know
Yeah,
you talked about we talked about stem cells and we talked a little bit about neuropathy. Are stem cell covered by insurance?
good question. Pure 100% regenerative medicine from like a Wharton's jelly product, um, no, it's not. Or
Okay.
even a bone marrow, no, it's not. Okay. Um, but what is covered by insurance is products like we do for our knee program.
Yeah.
We use hyaluronic acid products or amniotic products. Those are actually covered by insurance, 100%.
Okay. Okay.
And that's amniotic product, by the way, that's covered. That can be used for any other joint or even a nerve, like a neuropathy, covered by insurance.
Okay. So that's the next question I was going to go into. Are there any new services that you're offering or that you're offering now that are new, or maybe that are going to be coming up in the future?
Sure. Yeah. We really are trying to stay in the cutting edge of helping people. Our goal is to create massive value for people's lives and live life on their own terms. So we're always scouring to stay ahead of the game, to do everything we can to help people. And so we've actually now have a product that we just released this week. It's our knee protocol, which we have a product that's phenomenal. It has tons of research on it. And people get 5 injections typically for their knees every week.
Right.
Excuse me. And then we track them as long as they've done well and it's been 30 days since their last injection. They've done well, but haven't again hit maximum medical improvement. When they were a candidate for an amnio injection covered by insurance.
That's a good
So
thing.
that's phenomenal. And then that's just released literally this week. And starting in latest May, we have another product that is absolutely phenomenal as well. And before I go to that next product, with the amnio, that can be done in any joint covered by insurance, right?
Okay.
Elbow, wrist, shoulder, foot, even for neuropathy in the foot, because it does some of the research shows it helps angiogenic, it helps improve blood supply, nerve supply. Okay, so that's something that's covered by insurance. I think we're hoping by no later than May, hopefully sooner, we have a new product called Neogen, made by a company called Synexus, and that product's phenomenal. It's FDA indicated for acute and chronic pain problems, neuromuscular education, neuroregenesis, so neuropathy is phenomenal for. I have some friends of mine who are using it and having absolutely amazing results from neuropathy. And the other cool thing is it's actually covered by insurance 100%.
Well, that's the
And
huge.
that helps to retrain nerves.
Well, the insurance
What's
is
that?
big. The insurance is huge. I think that, I know that you're bringing in Synexus and stuff like that, and I've heard nothing but good things.
Right.
I mean, I've never seen so many video testimonials on the internet about it, and that's what kind of is drawn to me actually to this. I've actually thought about getting my own. You have it in my home.
They're very expensive.
Yeah,
Very
no,
expensive.
that's
Crazy
why
expensive.
I get one.
Yeah. We have literally spent 3 months of research of healthcare attorneys, coding compliance specialists to make sure it's not just, that the insurance will help benefit the patient, but also it's safe and it's backed up. There's over 30 white page research articles specifically on that piece of equipment that actually backs it up. FDA has indicated it for those kinds of conditions. So it's strong. And most important thing, again, it's going to help people live life on their own terms. And neuropathy, that's just a devastating condition that a lot of people suffer from that have no options. And the great thing about that, if you combine that with what we do, with regenerative medicine, man, it's a win-win. It's going to help people phenomenally. Finally they'll get rid of the burning, the numbness, the tingling, help their balance. So to walk with confidence again, to walk on the beach, have a hand go on vacation with their loved ones, and not feel like that they can't walk very far without having a fall or something because they can't feel their feet. So yeah, we're super excited about that coming up here soon.
I'm excited. I actually can't wait till that's released because I know that the testimonials are going to start flowing.
Yeah, for sure.
That I think that when people look at their bodies instead of looking at the price, which goes right to the price, we should be looking at that this body is an investment. And my encouragement, there's a lot of people out there that are in pain and they don't have to be. And I just want to tell you, everyone, your body is an investment. You hanging out with your grandchildren, be able to play with them on the ground, that's huge. You can't put a price tag on that. And one thing that I've actually heard from you is that a lot of people come flying out to you. So, you know, even if they're not in your surrounding areas where you're at, I know that people can fly out to you. And I know I saw some of your testimonials, and which we'll be having the testimonials right at the end of this video. So everyone, make sure that you not only share the video, but I want you to watch the live testimonials of people's lives.
Thank you.
Your guys' you know, your team has basically helped change their lives forever. When would you say, or what would you say is the biggest cause for people even to start getting neuropathy, any type of that knee pain? What, is there a certain cause normally? Is it food? Is it not exercising, or is it all above?
You know, that's a great question. You know, back years ago, we used to go through this whole comprehensive detox and change the diet and do all this high dollar rehabilitation with patients. And it worked. But not everyone wanted to do all that stuff, to be honest with you. So we started to just do, hey, let's just try regenerative medicine and see how they do. And guess what? It worked phenomenally. And we didn't have to do, now mind you, I truly believe we are what we eat, you know? So I really think diet does play a role. But even when people aren't changing things I believe they should change, they're still getting amazing results. Now, could they even get better results if it's a knee patient and, you know, every excess pound on your body is 4 more extra pounds in the knees, okay? Mm-hmm. So yeah, if someone lost weight, it's gonna help, but regenerative medicine still works amazing on the knees without losing the weight, okay? It'll work better if they did, but it still works phenomenal. Neuropathy would work better if the person with diabetes helped their diet change it, but even when people haven't done that, they're still getting the burning, numbness, and tingling to decrease, the pain to go away, the balance to improve, and start to live again life on their own terms and do the things they want to do.
Okay, wow, that's pretty awesome. It's funny. I just got a text right now, and someone wanted to know, would something like this help with frozen shoulder?
Frozen shoulder. Yeah, I can. That's a good question. My mother, who is 77, she actually had surgery on her shoulder, I think it was about 35 years ago. And ever since then, she's had a hard time with her range of motion and strength. She was a dental hygienist for 35 years. And she's lost her range of motion. She had a frozen shoulder from the scar tissue in there. And her shoulder, you know, the ball should be round. Hers is a square like that. And when she moves, you can hear it go, it grinds and clicks. It's brutal. And she came to our Greenville clinic. They were here visiting me probably about 6-7 months ago. And I told her, I said, Mom, we'll do it for you. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's the worst. You know, they want to do a reverse shoulder replacement with her, and she did not want to do that. You know, she said, I'm absolutely not doing that, so I don't blame you. So we did one Morton's jelly injection, and literally within 2 weeks, she had full range of motion, almost full range of motion restored. Some places the video, and I can't remember if she did a testimony or not. I hope she did, Mark. If not, I will have her redo a video. But yeah, she did the video, and I think she got her arm going like over her head just to show how much she can move her arm. And that was bone on bone with like a serious like square shoulder.
Oh, that's
pretty cool.
Is it better still now, or?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing with her, like a month later, she cleaned the whole house, which she hadn't done in forever. And she could barely even move her arm for like a day. I'm like, Mom, you can't clean the whole house after you haven't been able to use your shoulder for like 20 years, you know? But she felt that good, and it took her a day to recover, and she was fine. But she's since learned not to overdo it, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So to answer everyone's question, yes. Well, this Wharton's jelly, there's a lot more to it. I'm starting to realize there's a lot of good effects in healing modalities that it actually does. Is there certain things with Wharton jelly that you see that maybe we haven't touched on, or that maybe you don't hear much about with what Wharton jelly can actually do?
I think that's the future.
I think so too.
It really is. I think right now if you look at the research out there in other countries, they're doing some unbelievable things that here in the United States we just can't do. That's why people will spend a lot of money and fly to see Dr. Roarden in Panama, right? You know, that's where Tony Robbins and some of these big time people go see, right? They spend a lot of money with them, but they want to live life on their own terms. They want to be healthy. So yeah, there is, but right now, really in the United States, we stick with clean, and what we know is we can do, and that's really focusing on joints and nerves. That's why really with Wharton's jelly and bone marrow, we focus on that.
Okay, awesome. Can you see that, especially we were talking about orange jelly, but can you see with, like, say, Synexus, which kind of helps out with people that have like neuropathy, knee pain,
Any kind of joint pain, yeah.
Right. Can you see that working just as good as stem cell injections?
Well, we're optimistic. We believe that the combination, like for example, if someone has a knee problem, we can go through that hyaluronic acid and possibly amniotic injection if they qualify, and then move them into, if they still hit maximum medical improvement, into a Wharton's jelly product. And by the way, we can still do that Synexus because it's, again, FDA indicated for acute chronic pain. We can do all those kinds of things, and insurance covers all of it. So except for if we got into the Wharton's jelly or bone marrow. So if we try to do everything we can with its insurance covered to help the patient have a lower out-of-pocket, get results, that's most important, get results. And then if worst case scenario, we didn't get where they wanted to go, then we can add these other products that may not be covered, and they're very affordable. Our most common patients, honestly, are people on fixed budgets, fixed incomes. Everyone we see is retired. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. Most people are retired. We see single moms, single dads, you know, they have trouble with finances. So if it ends up being something that's not covered by insurance, which again would only be like Wharton's jelly bone marrow, we have insurance, we have plans that's offered by finance companies at a very low interest rate for up to 60 months. And we have one that's no actual interest at all for 24 months. So we want to, we don't want to make it ever about the money. That's just a side effect. We want to make it about getting someone better and helping them. You know, that's why we're here. And I have my financial managers to help handle that stuff. And that's something that we really had to want to focus on as much. We just want to really focus on doing everything we can to help a person as long as they're a candidate for care.
Well, I just think I'm still kind of stuck on how your mom called, you knew about your mom's shoulder, and she's in full reign.
And I told her I wasn't sure if we could help her. I'm like, I was honest, But I've seen some really cool stuff with people living with neuropathy that were like, we have some testing we do with patients, to accept them when it comes to neuropathy. And, there's been a couple patients that are really borderline on testing, and they're like, I don't care, I'm willing to spend whatever it takes to get better. And we don't make any guarantees. We'll take care of them. And I've seen people with like black feet that the color comes back over time. Ulcers that start to heal and go away. Even our presentation, we show some of them. So it's really cool stuff. Our body can heal itself if it has the ability, right? We're a self-healing organism, but unfortunately, as we get older, our ability to heal gets lower.
Right.
But the great thing about regenerative medicine, doing these kinds of products, is you're giving your body back what God gave us, that heals us, that made us. We're giving it back in large numbers so it has the opportunity to heal again. And that's really what we need. Cortisone doesn't do that. Look at FDA. They came out a regulation end of last year about how bad it is for you. But we still hear people getting it all the time. But we know it leaves residue in the joint, and it causes the joint to break down and just blocks the pain from the brain. By the way, cortisone is great if all you care about is just getting rid of pain for a short temporary time. It works phenomenal for that. It's actually great for that. But if you're looking for a long-term fix, it's not going to fix a chronic problem.
Well, that's why stem cells it just keeps regenerating.
Right. Yeah, awesome. Totally.
Wow. I just want to say thank you so much for just being on the show today, Brian. And again, those of you that do not know Brian Kean, he is the CEO of the management team with Advanced Regenerative Care. And today we talked about stem cells. We talked about neuropathy. And I'm excited.
Knees, joints.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, joints, pinky toe pain, I'm playing. Whatever type of pain you have, check out Brian Kean and his management team. They are taking care of, I believe, 4. You have the...
we have Greenville, New Wilmington, and Charlotte. Or it's actually Matthews, North Carolina.
Right. Where's the 5th one coming in?
Well, we have plans. So, yeah, we will probably 1 or 2 more clinics this year by the end of the year, yeah.
That's so awesome.
What we have is new. It's cutting edge. A lot of people aren't aware of it, and there's some people out there that need to be helped. There's a lot of people that are living with pain and aches, and the medical model, I think, is great for a lot of things. But when it comes to chronic problems, a lot of people have joint pain and neuropathy. The option is pain medications, surgery, another surgery, then pain management for life. And that's really Einstein said the best. So the definition of insanity, if you keep doing the same thing time and time again, yet you're expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So you have to do something different than you're doing today to get different results. And that's what we offer, is something different. We want people to get results. We want people to live life on their own terms.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And everyone, make sure you go to advancedregenerativeCare.com. We have all the websites, all 4 locations on the video. And remember, everyone, sharing is caring. And again, thank you so much, Brian. And
thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Bye. Next scene.
All right, Jeff. Let's get right into it. You've had your injection. How long ago was it now?
1 month.
1 month. So Jeff, where did you have your 2 injections?
My left knee and right shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what your quality of life was like before you had your injections.
I was discussing earlier with the guys at work. It was, I went from 45 years old to 90 in half a year's time. That's what I felt like. Very, very arthritic. I felt crippled.
And what were some of the things that you most wanted to be able to do that you couldn't do?
First off, sleep at night. That was horrible. Maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours at a time. So, and just be able to work on a farm.
Mm. And before your stem cell injection, what was your level of pain on a 0 to 10? Like, how bad did it get?
Definitely 10.
10.
Most of the time.
Mm. And what is your pain level right now?
I would say between 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm. And how long has it been since your injection?
1 month.
1 month. That's awesome. What are some things that you can do now that you couldn't do before you had your stem cell injection?
Walk upright. Scratch my own back, put my own belt on, fix my own collar. I could only ever do it with one arm. Now I can do it with both arms. Mm. So, yeah, it's been fantastic.
Mm. And what advice would you give to somebody else who's considering stem cell injection or regenerative tissue matrix?
Definitely stop in and check this out. They all see me. There's no need to even say anything. I just need to give them directions.
Awesome. Well, you're still on your way to healing much better, because you're only 1 month out, and we know the regenerative process takes 3 to 9 months. So you're on your way, and we're really happy for you.
It's fantastic so far.
All right, Jeff, I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joanne Myers. I live in Tacoma, Washington, and I'm an advocate for stem cell replacement. Absolutely. I had my left hand, my right hip, my lower back, and my neck and shoulders.
Wow. And how long ago was the injection?
It's been a little over 2 months ago.
Okay, and how are the results?
Oh, every day I just feel better and better. The first day, the inflammation was gone, and it just took away 90% of the pain. And every day it just gets better, and I love it. I totally recommend it.
What are some things that you're able to do today that you couldn't 2 months ago?
Oh, just about everything. I haven't gotten back to golf yet, but
okay.
In fact, a friend of mine called this morning and she asked me how I was doing with the stem cell, and I says, just great. But I says, I really need to lose 50 pounds so that I can walk the course without huffing and puffing.
Okay. Well, that's good. If that's the only thing that's stopping you from golfing now.
Yeah, because I can walk and stand so much longer than I could before, and I love it.
That's incredible.